Welcome, my dear viewers and my beloved students. I appear before you again, and this time I'm going to give you an answer, and this answer will benefit you, the higher secondary students. The students who are undergoing higher secondary course in West Bengal will, I hope, benefit from my answer if they practice it regularly. Practice in 3 dimensions: practice of reading, practice of writing, and practice of understanding. You have a soft English syllabus, but there's a shade of literature in it. After higher secondary examination, if I desire to pursue higher education in literature, this syllabus will help you a lot, because here we have the first stage of literature, the study of first stage of literature, and from here you will enter the first world of literature when you will pursue the higher education in literature. And you have to fare well in the higher secondary examination. In English, if you want to fare well, you have to clear your conception regarding the themes, regarding the viewpoints, and regarding the attitude of the writers of your syllabus. Today I am going to give answer of one of the most important question from your poem Asleep in the Valley. Asleep in the Valley is a very interesting poem included in your syllabus. It is written by Rimbaud, Arthur Rimbaud, and my question is, what is the role of the nature, the surrounding landscape described in the poem to intensify the tragic feeling of the readers? Simply, the question is, clarify the significance of the landscape to intensify the tragic feeling of the readers. Let me start. This poem of Rimbaud is one of the representative poems to give an expression of protest against the event of war. Here we find a description, a depiction of the murder of a young soldier. He was very young and he was cruelly killed while he was taking rest, while he was asleep in the valley. And the underlying tone of the poem is, we feel, a tone of protest, but the poetic device, means the figure of speech he adopted inside the poem is irony. And to express the protest that he intended, his angry protest against war and warfare, the brutal killing and unfortunate destiny of the young soldier, is expressed through use of irony. But here we find a beautiful landscape in the poem. The young soldier was asleep in the valley. Apparently, he seemed to be asleep because the surrounding was an idyllic surrounding. It was full of nature's beauty. There was everything that could bring peace of mind of the person who stands there, who lies there, or who stays there. It is upon a valley that the young soldier was sleeping, and there was greenery, there was green grass, there was sunlight, sun ray, and tranquility, and the flowers touched his feet, and he lay on, means he was sleeping upon the thick layer of weeds. Everything was enough to give peace and tranquility to a nature lover. And in this ideal natural surrounding, he was expected to sleep a beautiful and sound sleep, but the opposite happened. This is, we find that while he should have enjoyed his sleep, he did not happen to enjoy it, and very contrasting thing happened. He was killed quite unknowingly, because there was marks of 2 red holes on the side of his body, because he was killed when he was asleep. And the irony is there that when one is asleep, he is expected to enjoy the God's boon, because when he will wake up, he will get refreshed. But here we discover that he went into the world of sleep forever, means he will not wake up to be refreshed and to start his works anew. And here we feel the tragedy, and the intensity of the tragedy is fulfilled through the juxtaposition of a serene and beautiful and a debonair landscape where he was sleeping. So, judging from all sides, all points, we feel, means readers feel, that the poet Rimbaud was deliberate and very successful in his artistic representation of the theme of the cruelty of war, of the theme of the butchery of young boys that happens in a war. Those unfortunate fellows die an untimely death, and it touches and starts the conscience of the people who are sensitive minded and who are judicious and who are cultural minded. But the warmongers, they don't care a fig, they don't care it at all. They lead those young fellows, young soldiers to the cave of death, to the face of death, and they become cannon fodders, or the food of the weapon, food of the gun. And the agony we feel, sensitive minded people feel that there's agony in the death of young soldiers. This is colossal waste of young lives, and Rimbaud personally experienced this, and when he experienced this from the inside of his heart, he was very deliberate in writing this poem to give out his angry protest against war. And there he brings the contrast of idyllic natural surrounding, a very beautiful natural landscape where it is considered to be God's bounty that one stays there, or stands there or lies there, but the unfortunate soldier will not wake up from his sleep, because he was not sleeping at all. Irony is that he seems to be sleeping, but he is not sleeping a usual sleep, a very invigorating sleep. And when one negative is expressed through positive representation, that is called irony. And this figure of speech is very dexterously used in this poem. And for this he brought out and he made use of the contrast of the tragic incident and the natural surrounding, which is very beautiful, serene, tranquil, and exquisite. So this is an enjoyable poem, enjoyable in the sense that the connoisseur of literature feels it a successful poem, a very powerful poem, and an interesting poem of Rimbaud.